I played 200 days of Stardew Valley with the goal to reach perfection, and this time, it might be possible. Maybe. I'm still not a pro, but I did give myself 22 goals that range from building off-war obelisks to exposing Mayor Lewis. And like last time, the rules are the same. No exploits and no resetting days. With all that being said, sorry this took so long. Turns out adding 22 goals might have not been the best idea, but hopefully it's worth it and you enjoyed these 200 days of Stardew Valley. Day 101, we're back on the perfection farm, and this time I have somewhat of a plan. But before that, I grabbed my powdered pumpkin seeds and moved my sheds. I have an idea of what I want my farm to look like, but this is step 1. Back to the plan. It involves Linus and friendship. Linus gives out the sushimi recipe at 3 hearts, which is loved by almost everyone, and it's extremely cheap to make. Anyways, Linus loves coconuts, so we'll be giving him a bunch of coconuts. It's also the wizard's birthday, so I give him a gift, a solar essence, which he loves. I also take advantage of still being in year 1 and buy a stack of coal and a bit of iron. Also, remember those pumpkins? Yeah, I plant them down and hope for a giant crop. Yeah, it's kind of late into the season, but there's still a chance. And while I make my way to the night market, I have a conversation with Linus, and who am I to judge him when I too look through the trash, and Gus seems to have a similar mindset but maybe a different approach. Besides that, not much happens. Day 102, I wake up to a knock at the door and it's Gunther. I guess I donated enough items yesterday, getting the rusty key as a reward, but that has to wait as it's a busy day today. I re-keg all my kegs, buy crab pots from Willie, and turn in my watering can, and give out a lot of gifts. With all that done, I still have time to visit the sewers where I find Krobus selling overpriced stuff and a star drop, which I buy. I also buy a re-profession changer as I need to optimize my crab pots. Yes, you heard me right. Re-optimize my crab pots. What a strange sight. Day 103. I'm happy to say my crab pots are fully optimized and might I dare say overpowered, but you'll just have to wait to see that. The traveling cart is here and I pick up some caviar. Also, I just want to mention I might not always say it, but I'm constantly giving out gifts. Besides that, not much happens today. I catch a squid and for reference, here's how much fish I've caught. And similar to gifts, I'm not always going to say when I catch fish, but I'll let you know if it's interesting. Day 104. My tappers are ready for harvest and so are my winter seeds, but I'll wait for the rest to catch up. I've also been checking the mailbox pretty frequently and it seems like I can adopt new pets. I also got the sushimi recipe, which I make 14 of immediately. It's also Evelyn's birthday today, which is why I'm carrying around a gold star rose. It's a perfect gift and there's no way I forget about it. I also decided to give Coraline my first sushimi. This leads me to her greenhouse and I have to say it looks amazing. The only thing that would make this better is a cup of green tea. You know what? This is a perfect Saturday. After whatever that was, I give her the sushimi and craft a bunch of kegs. Also, take a look at all those pots. No trash, which means a sea of sashimi. Also wood. With all that taken care of, I head to sleep knowing I did everything I could today. Day 105. All my winter seeds are ready and so are my ancient fruits, which is gonna be turned into more ancient seeds. I also checked Marnie's new pets and they're pretty expensive, so unfortunately I'll have to wait. But while talking to Marnie, something caught my eye. Is that a pair of underwear? Is it wrong for me to go into her room and take them? I mean, she didn't stop me, but this feels wrong. Well, it turns out it was a pair of Mayor Lewis's underwear, and it just makes you wonder, what else is this guy hiding? Anyways, I put down like 60 crab pots, and can you guess for what? It's more sashimi. Besides that, it's just more gift giving. Day 106, I receive a couple recipes through the mail and continue to process my fruit. I also found out you can clear your farm using Robin, which saves me a bunch of time. With all that extra time, I decided to follow these footsteps, which leads me to Krobus or Shadow Guy, doesn't really matter, but I receive a magnifying glass that lets you find secret notes. It's probably important. Also, take a look at my crab pots with no trash, which means more sashimi. A lot of sashimi. The rest of the day is spent gift giving. Day 107. I wake up to a gift from Leah, even though it is her birthday today. Don't worry, I have a pretty good gift. If you're wondering what I got, it was a statue that I put right beside my door. Not sure what it really is, but it looks cool. As for her gift, it's a golden star rabbit foot which pushes her straight to 8 hearts. Unfortunately, most of her heart events don't happen till after winter, so the bouquet has to wait. But while I'm down here, I choose my next mastery. Those crab pots really did come in handy. I end up choosing the fishing mastery mostly because I don't want to struggle with the fish, and I'm planning to catch the legend pretty soon, so the advanced iridium rod would help out a lot. The rest of the day is spent doing tasks and getting my first secret note. Day 108 is kind of a nothing burger. I pass by Clint's, buy 2 stacks of iron and 1 stack of copper. I also pass by Robin's and go completely broke. I ended up buying like a lot of wood and stone just before she raises prices. Besides that, I spend the rest of the day fixing up my farm, and you'll see more of that tomorrow. Day 109, I spend the whole day switching the layout, and if you haven't noticed yet, I've been destroying my farm, and today I rebuilt it. It doesn't look too nice, but it'll be done by the end of spring. I mainly switch where the crops go, and before you mention it, yes, I know today's the winter festival, but I kinda got the time switched up. I thought it was at 9 p.m., not 9 a.m. Can you believe that I have like 800 hours in this game? Cause I definitely cast. Day 110 is a fishing day. The goal is to get as many missing winter fish, starting with the tuna, which takes way too long, then the glacier fish that takes way too little, like 30 seconds for some reason, and these two. When I was finally done with fishing, I talked to Linus and we had a deep conversation about life, and it ended with me learning the wild bait recipe. It was 100% worth it. Day 111, my tappers are ready, which means more kegs. Unfortunately, I don't have much to put into them. In fact, I only have 30 pumpkin. I also end up selling my pumpkin juice to fund my wood hoarding addiction. Trust me, I'm gonna use it one day, just probably not today or anytime soon. I also moved my shut. Day 112, the second ancient fruit harvest is here, and it actually has a purpose this time. Kegs, and more profit for me, of course. It's also a good time to tell you we didn't get that big pumpkin, which means we already failed one goal. Not the best news, but that doesn't mean we're not gonna try to get the rest of the big ones. Anyways, I buy more staircases and do my task. Day 113, spring is finally here, and I don't really have any specific goals, so just try to keep up. I wake up with 3 knocks at the door. The first one is Kent, a new villager who just wants to introduce himself. The second one is Leah asking to go check out her art show, which obviously I'm gonna go to. And the final knock is Marnie asking to go check out her goats. That one can wait since it's a busy day today. I start with clearing the land, reorganizing my sprinklers, and tilling the land, which gets interrupted to buy some potatoes and speed grow. And before I can plot them, I realize I need to head towards the art show, which was really nice. But it's time to head back to the farm. The crop for spring is ancient fruit and potatoes. Potatoes for friendship and ancient fruit for my profit. But before any of that can happen, I need to spread the speed grow and plot them down, which I barely managed to do. Day 14, I chopped down my trees, and before I get crucified, I did it for a good reason. I was tired of walking all the way to the other side of my farm to check on my sheds. Plus, I moved my trees to the left of my farm. It's gonna look nice, trust me. But before I can move my sheds, Robin had different plans. She was gone. Oh, I decided to stock on Penny and George. That's all I'm gonna say about that. But now it's time to catch the sunfish. I head towards the nearest river, catch the sunfish, and donate it to the community center. This makes the Junimo appear, and we have our last conversation, which makes me realize maybe they're not meant to be eaten. Maybe, just maybe, they're meant to be friends. But I guess we'll never know. They disappear. Day 115. Now that the community center is complete, I wait for Willie's invitation to repair his boat. Cause yeah, the farmer has to repair his boat. But in the meantime, I prep for Ginger Island, and once I'm done with that, I get a lesson from Willie on how to pan, I guess. Anyways, I get a cutscene with the community center where Pierre gets his revenge and I get a reward, but hopefully this place doesn't get abandoned again. It's abandoned not even 10 seconds later. I hate this time. Day 116. It rains, which means it's time to catch the legend. But before that, I give a gift to Kent, repair Willie's boat, and finally move my sheds. That took way longer than I thought it would. With all that done, I start catching the legend, and for some reason, I'm not sure if it's my luck or maybe my amazing fishing skills, but it's caught pretty easily. With all this free time, I decide to help the wizard out, and I don't even get to finish helping him out since I get sidetracked by an eel. Day 117, I continue to help the wizard out with his strange relationship problems, which I'm rewarded for. The reward is buying stuff off him, which I'm broke, I can't afford this stuff. Anyways, Robin and Willie finally fixed up that boat, and it's time for Ginger Island. The only goals for Ginger Island right now is to set up the house and get some crops down. I also won't bore you with each walnut I get, just know I'm following this amazing guy. I get introduced to Leo and a fetch quest. I hate this fetch quest, but that doesn't matter right now. A couple walnuts and a day later, I have a house. And a new land which in the future will be covered in crystallariums and star fruits, but right now it's just parsnips. With all that done, I head back to Pelican Town and harvest my potatoes. As for my tappers, I'm just too lazy to harvest them. With all these potatoes, I start gifting them and start the fetch quest. I should also mention, I finally gave that bouquet to Leah. Day 119, look at my trees, I'm pretty proud of them. I make my way to Pierre's shop and buy lots of seeds for future cooking. I also sell my wine that I harvested the previous day, and while I'm here, I check out the abandoned Joja store. This introduces me to the missing bundle and one of our quests. Start work on this quest immediately and get a nice cutscene with Leah. Day 120, I fix up my farm and buy a bunch of potatoes. I also completed the missing bundle. Most of the stuff I already had or was really easy to get. Anyways, the Junimo puts on a show and leaves. But besides that, I pick up a special order from the wizard and complete it the same day, unlocking the mini obelisk. This thing is really helpful, but you'll see that later. Day 121, I give the ectoplasm to the wizard, finishing his quest. I also head back to Ginger Island, and while harvesting my parsnips, I harvest my onion. Luckily, my melon still has a long way to go, so I just end up planting another one, but that could have ended up really bad. I also decided to plant down some star fruit and finish the fetch quest. quest, which honestly wasn't that bad. Most of the people were at the bar, so it was pretty simple. Also, sorry about the audio, I got sick, so I'll try to get through the next 10 days as quick as possible. Day 122, I decided I'm gonna unlock the forge, which means going through the volcano, and after a bit of panicking, I get these blue boots. I think they're better than the ones I had, but anyways, I access the forge. The forge lets me enchant, combine, and upgrade tools, and the first thing I want to get is a perfect weapon. When I say perfect weapon, there's many types of perfect weapons, but this one's my favorite. 3 rubies for damage and the Crusader enchantment. With these 2 things, it completely shreds through the caverns. Plus, there's one other thing, but that's for later. Anyways, I only get to put 2 rubies before running out of cinder shards, which kind of sucks, but I head back to Pelican Town and receive the mini obelisk recipe. And this thing is really good, but I had no clue. It's the first time I'm using it. Day 123, I craft the mini obelisk, and check this out. No more walking. That's right, I save a whole 10 seconds a day, which adds up after a year, but I don't know, I thought it was pretty cool. Also, I gave golden animal crackers to my rabbits to make them more efficient, aka more rabbit feet for friendship gifts. Anyways, back to Ginger Island. The first thing I do is unlock the dig site and the professor. Basically, more ways to get walnuts. And maybe an ostrich. I also enchanted my sword and got vampiric. Day 124. It rained, which means gembirds. I struggled for quite a bit with this puzzle, but after like 10 minutes, no joke, I figured it out. I also repaired the resort and spent the rest of the day in the volcano. Day 125. The spring festival is here, and this time I'm actually participating. Yes, my competition are a bunch of children, but that doesn't take from the fact that I got first place. Not them, me. Also, if you haven't noticed, I changed my shirt for no reason at all, just got bored. Day 126. Take a look at my tree farm. I'm really proud of how it came out. It looks really nice. Anyways, more ancient fruit, plus I bought goats. And I'm sorry, but there's no funny names this time. I'm just washed up now. Also, it's Haley's birthday today, so I pick up a gold star coconut, and that got her up to 4 hearts. Besides that, it's more coffee and selling wine. Also, witches. Day 127. Turns out she just gave me a void egg. She actually saved me like 5,000 gold, so thanks, I guess. Also, it's a desert festival thing, and honestly, I didn't do much here or the day after that, so these days are kinda wasted. Day 128. I lied. Only half the day is wasted as I return to Ginger Island. This time, I'm getting that door open. I'm only off by a couple more walnuts, so I start the frog review, which I passed. Then this puzzle. It's my least favorite, and I'm not gonna lie here, I cheated. I cheated the whole time. And even with me cheating, I took 10 minutes to pass. Yeah, my memory's not that great, and I was extremely nervous, so. Also, why does it only give 3 walnuts? I feel like that's really low. But with all those walnuts I just made, I buy the transport system and make my way to the cave to beat some pirates, of course. At what, you may ask? Darts. I'm extremely gifted in this game, and it's totally not my first time playing it. Day 129. I'm only 5 walnuts away from unlocking that door. I get 4 pretty easily, but I struggle with the last one. I also combine my burglar's ring and lucky ring, which means I have 1 extra slot open. I'm not sure what I'm gonna put in there, but I'll figure it out. Day 130. While harvesting my star fruit, I get the last walnut. It turns out I didn't get all 5 walnuts for my parsnips. I'm just really bad at math, or basic counting, I guess. But before opening that door, I expand my farm for more profit. Yes, I know it looks ugly, but once I filled my pockets, I'll make it look a lot better. But with that done, I open the door. This is Mr. Q. You might have remembered him from the Green Rain incident, but this time he's not doing any of that. He's just giving out quests and extremely great rewards. And the quest I picked up is the Extended Family quest. More on that tomorrow. Day 131. Before I head back to Pelican Town, I enchant my fishing rod. The enchantment I'm looking for is Mastery. It adds an extra level of fishing, which is definitely gonna come in handy. Unfortunately, I'm not too lucky. In fact, it becomes a common trend of me just not getting the enchantment I want. I also got this ostrich egg some time ago, but I'm not too sure where I got it from. I'll put up a clip, but I'm pretty sure it was from this spot here. Anyways, I head back to Pelican Town, pick up some bait and tackles, keg my star fruit, and get a cutscene with Leah. To summarize, I try to reason with her ex. It doesn't work out. Also, I won't be putting every single cutscene in, just the ones that I find more interesting, so sorry if you don't see one you like. I also forgot to mention I unlocked another mastery level choosing the mining mastery, mainly for these furnaces. They're absolutely amazing. But with all that done, I finally start catching some fish. The Extended Family quest requires me to catch all 5 legendary fish, my least favorite being the Legend 2, for the simple fact he just doesn't show up. He's so annoying to catch for no reason. He just refuses to show himself. So I start with Glacier Fish Jr., the Radioactive Carp, and the Son of the Crimson Fish. By this point, I'm doing pretty good on time, so I head for the Legend 2. And can you guess it? He doesn't show. This guy sucks, man. Day 132. Before we get into fishing, I make a slime compressor machine thing. Not for slime eggs just yet, but for some new baggy pants. I have a lot of bunny fur. It's also Shane's birthday, so I get him something nice. I really want to get him to 8 hearts for his blue chickens, but enough about that. I start with Mrs. Angler, and finally, after some time, I get the legend too, completing Mr. Q's quest. Besides that, I fix up my farm, make new furnaces, and ancient seed packs. Day 133. I forgot to mention I crafted this little door statue. It gives me the mining buff, which is great if I could remember to use it. Anyways, more sap and ancient fruit. Also, while giving gifts, I get a Shane cutscene, the first of many sad cutscenes. I really hope this guy gets a happy ending. But I make my way to town, pick up the Queen of Sauce cookbook with my last G, and it's 100% worth it. It saves me a lot of time. I'm also broke now. I can barely afford to get to Ginger Island. There's also going to be a thunderstorm tomorrow, which I didn't know could happen. Day 134. I put the last ruby in my sword. This leaves me with one more thing to do to make it perfect, but that comes later. As I head back to my farm, craft almost 100 kegs, and finally clear the core. Look, I even put some flooring down. Day 135 is a big day. It's my first massive harvest of ancient fruit, plus these potatoes, which are going to be replaced for more ancient fruit, obviously. I also unlocked another level of mastery and planted some more ancient seeds. I'm still broke, by the way, so let's hope nothing big comes up. But I finally get to use my quarry for kegs, but it's not enough, so I plant some more kegs. And a little more kegs. Remember what I said about Shane and sad cutscenes? Yeah, today wasn't a good one. I also stopped recording, so enjoy the slideshow. Also, I choose the foraging mastery. Day 136. I got a good amount of batteries from the previous day, but more importantly, it's the flower dance, and there's one rare crow we need from it. Unfortunately, it costs 1000 G. I only have 400, and there's no one I can sell to, so I do something desperate. I sell the pig. This actually doesn't hurt too much. I don't like pigs, plus we're 10,000 gold richer now. With that problem solved, I buy the rare crow, dance a bit, and end the day. Day 137. I fixed up a new bigger spot for my animals, which I'll just move later, but I also decided to donate some items to the museum. This leads me to Ginger Island to pick up some stuff and build the trading post. After that, I head back to Pelican Town, donate some items, and finally check out the movie theater. But I'm pretty sure I need to bring someone with me because I can't really do anything. Day 138. I can't remember when, but I picked up the Skull Cavern Invasion quest. Basically, I have to reach floor 100 in the caverns. Luckily, I already have all I need, plus it's a good luck day. I quickly realized I need more than luck for this run. Everything hits harder and has more health. Luckily, I do have this really good sword that shreds through mummies and ghosts. I get a lot of loot actually. There are some close calls, but I pass out on floor 210 with a backpack full of amazing loot. Day 139. Here's what my inventory looks like after that amazing run. It was probably the most fun I've had in those 139 days so far. But here's the 5 big things I got from it. 5 rainbow shards, 114 omni geodes, 406 iridium ore, plus all the other ores, and so many secret notes. A lot of secret notes. The most important parts were the 40 Q gems and the 2 galaxy souls. Galaxy souls are used to make infinity weapons, the best type of weapons you can get. Except I need 3, but luckily I can buy 1 more. But that's for later. Right now, I organize my inventory the best I can and get a new dino. I also realize I need an ostrich incubator to get an ostrich. Just forget about that for a minute because it's not gonna happen for a really long time. I mean that. It's also Emily's birthday, but before I can even give her a gift, I get this cutscene. It's really cool, it's just kind of strange. I also get this new outfit. It looks a little weird. I'll fix it up later. But did you know there's no Apple shirt? Like, at all? There's no Apple anything. I'm sorry, it's just, why is there no Apple shirts or Apple hats? The best you can get is a Junimo hat. Day 140. I had so much fun in the caverns, I go back. The main goal this time is gold. I want more crystallariums for more cavern runs. Plus, I'm still recovering from that explosion, but it's time for the caverns. Like last time, it's amazing. I even get another auto petter and pass out on the same floor with a backpack full of loot. Well, spring is over and I probably have to say it. It was the best season so far. We got a lot done, from ancient seeds to walnuts, and even completed some goals. But now it's time for summer, and I don't really have one specific goal, mainly just complete a lot of the other goals and maybe start working on that percentage goal. It's a little low right now at 21 or 22%. Yeah, we're not gonna get 100%. Day 141. Another inventory full of amazing loot. Plus, my barn has an auto petter now. Besides that, it's back to Ginger Island and another harvest of star fruit. I also pick up a Q quest, which I completely forget about, and plant some more star fruit and smelt the copper. Day 142. If you're wondering, I have somewhere near 20 crystallariums. The goal is 100, and probably not to blow them up this time. Anyways, I fill up my kegs with star fruit, and just take a look at that core. It's so blue, it makes me want to cry. Plus, I make a bunch of money off this. Besides that, I craft more tappers and make my way to the mastery cave, where I get the last mastery needed. This basically basically opens up trinkets, which I'll get later, and take a look at this raccoon. I built his house back in winter, but I kind of just ignored him after that because his requests are pretty bad. But it's a new season, so I decided to help him out. Day 143. I give up completely on the large crops. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. Maybe I just have bad luck, but I give up. Instead, I expand my farm for seasonal crops. A lot of them. It takes me the whole day to plant them down, but I think it's gonna be worth it. And as I head to sleep, something crashes in the night. Day 144. It turns out it was just a meteor. It landed right where I plant my crops, which is kind of annoying, but it's cool. I also decide I'm gonna catch every fish I need, even the legendary ones. If you're wondering how I'm gonna catch every legendary fish in one season, it's thanks to Mr. Q. He sells magic bait that lets you catch any fish in any season, including the legendary fish. Anyways, I start with the simple fish and then head towards the legendaries. I start with the mutant carp, then the crimson fish, and finally the angler fish. By the end of the day, we were still missing quite a bit of fish, but we did amazing progress. Day 145. The green rain's back, and can you guess what I did for the whole day? If you said fishing, you're only half right. I spent a good chunk of the day collecting fiber. For what you may ask, I have no clue. It's just good to have fiber. But I did catch one rockfish. Yeah, they're pretty hard to catch. I think I need to improve on something. Maybe if I had a lure that could help me out with this or increase the chances of getting rarer fish. That would help a lot. Day 146. If you couldn't tell from that subtle foreshadowing, it was a curiosity lure. It should increase the bite chance for rarer fish, but I decided to test it out in the desert. The fish we're looking for is the scorpion fish, and I hate this fish. I hate it a lot. It's my second most hated fish. Why, you may ask? It's because he does all this. Keep in mind, he's not a legendary fish. He does this out of pure spite for the player. Also, the lure works. I caught him 3 times. Anyways, I head to Ginger Island to catch some fish, then head back to Pelican Town to catch some cave fish. But before that can happen, I get a roll in Shane's ad. Honestly, it was pretty fun and Shane seems to be doing better. Also, Clint turns blue. But I buy some ice cream and get the pike fish, which means I only need one more fish, the lava eel. Lucky for me, the lava eel is extremely common in the volcano, which means I catch him really easily. This means I completed a challenge, and I also decided to buy some banana trees. I plant them in my greenhouse, and they're gonna be used for future projects. Day 147, another massive harvest of oak, plus a star drop from Willy. Reward for catching every fish. Besides that, I spend the rest of the day in the volcano getting cinder shards and trying to get some more trinkets, or get my first one, which I do. It kinda sucks, but it's a cool little frog. Day 148, it's another volcano day, but I do rush to get Gus's gift. But before that can happen, I get an awkward moment with Gus and Pam. And when I solve that one, I get another awkward moment with Clint and Emily. Mainly Clint. This guy's kinda weird. But after kinda solving that one, I give Gus his gift and collect some starfruit ones. Also, a fairy grows my crops, but I don't really think it matters anymore. Day 149, I get a knock at the door from Gus with a mini jukebox. Unfortunately, I can't even play this thing. I have my music turned all the way down, but I bet it sounds great. Besides that, it's another boring day. Ancient fruit, then kegs. But I do plant down some more ancient fruit. Plus, I sell my wine. Day 150, we're halfway there and I start the day with 2 million G. But before I can even waste it, I have to solve some neighborhood problems. Stuff like this makes you wonder, where's Mayor Lewis at? Hopefully he's not wasting our funds or, I don't know, maybe hiding in a bush somewhere. Anyways, I finished some side quests and buy lots, and I mean lots of copper for, well, more kegs. Talking about kegs, I harvest my starfruit and plan to put more kegs on Ginger Island, but I forget the iron, so instead I put them down on my farm. I don't manage to keg all the starfruit, but I get a good chunk. Day 151. The luau takes place today, so I grab a sea cucumber and, somehow get trapped with chests. How does this even happen? But I figure out how to entrap myself and head to the luau. Talk to a lot of people and throw the sea cucumber in. This thing gives me a lot of friendship points, even though it looks extremely disgusting. Day 152. There's gonna be a thunderstorm tomorrow, so I plan to make lots of lightning rods. I also finally run out of wood, so I buy a couple of stacks and buy another coop. Raccoon update, he now has a wife who sells seeds, and he also wants more stuff. I'm starting to think this might be a one-sided friendship. In fact, I don't think he ever said he was my friend. Day 153. It's Alex's birthday, so I give him a rabbit foot. This triggers a series of sad cutscenes. If you want to know more about them, go watch a lore video, but I somehow choose every single wrong answer. I don't know how I do that. The last one's really sad though, but to make things worse, Shane's not doing good. I get this really sad cutscene, which I really hope is an old one I missed and not a more recent one, because it's not even 1 PM yet. On a happier note, I buy lots of rabbits and finally marry Leah. So it's not all bad today. Day 154. After all those cutscenes and marriage, I decide I need a break, so I head to Ginger Island. I finally have enough cinder shards to get the infinity sword, and as I upgrade it, I realize I'm pretty dumb. I only needed 60 cinder shards, not 160. I'm not sure where I got that number from, but now I have a bunch of extra cinder shards, plus an infinity sword. After a motivational speech, he builds up the courage to ask Emily out, and it actually works. Besides that, it's ice cream staircases sap and testing out this new sword, plus the napalm. We're extremely close close to getting the best loadout. In fact, I just need another ring. I haven't chosen which one I'm gonna go for, but it's probably gonna be a while before we get it. Day 155, finally some good news. Shane seems to be trying to better himself and get the help he needs. Besides that great news, it's a pretty boring day. I grab some wood, give the raccoon his order, and if you're wondering, he wants to have a family now and probably ask for more expensive stuff. He also gave me this book as a reward, and it's not too good, but at least it's something. Day 156, I'm finally getting married. I had no clue this was gonna happen, so I kinda didn't dress up at all, but that doesn't matter since Leah is moving in, and I should probably clean up my house, but I'm not gonna do that. Instead, I'm gonna collect my wine, and if you're wondering, I'm pretty close to 1,000 kegs, but who knows, I'm too lazy to count. Day 157, it's just another keg day, but this time it's starfruit wine. Day 158, the bookseller's in town today, and seeing that I have way more than enough G, I buy all the books I need, and after that, I head to the caverns to finish Mr. Q's challenge. This time I have to hit floor 100, but I can't eat any food. Seems easy enough since I have staircases, but I guess I get a little too confident with my new sword and almost died trying to complete some monster slayer goals, which I do complete, but it was a little too close for comfort, especially since I had so much good loot. But I do make it to floor 100 and get judged a lot by Mr. Q for taking the easy route, which yeah, fair enough, but I still get the reward of 20 more health. Also, look at that sword, it melts through everything including mummies, which dropped a new trinket that's really good. It heals you passively. I'm not too sure how it works, but it's really good. Day 159, I decided to finish the museum starting with the gems and minerals, and thank god I saved those Anu geodes because I really needed them. In fact, I almost used all of them, but all the minerals are done and all I need are the artifacts, which I'll get later using the treasure totems, but I need heavy tappers for that, which I pick up, plus mystic saplings, which I only get one of. Also starfruit. Day 160, not much happens today, I just go around trying to get more mystic saplings. Day 161, by this point I really wanted the ostrich incubator, so I crack a couple golden walnuts and get it first try, actually second try. I also thought I lost my rod, but looking back at the footage, it's right there. I'm just kind of blind. Besides that, I work on some monster slayer goals. Day 162, I head to Willie's and buy a new advanced Iberian bronze and a bunch of bait. I also make my way to Ginger Island and pick up a new quest and start hunting for the last 2 fossils. I get the spine pretty quickly, but I don't get as lucky with the tail. Day 163, I'm still trying to get that tail, and yeah, I didn't get it, and I wasted the whole day here. I'm starting to hate this tail. Day 164, yeah, I give up on the tail, but I head back to my farm and realize I messed up. All that time I wasted on that tail kind of backfired since I forgot to harvest my fruit and kegs. But before I can even correct that, I upgrade my pan and give Willie his gift. With that done, I can try my best to harvest my fruit and re-keg my kegs. I try my best, but I end up passing out and not even finishing. Day 165, I fill the rest of my farm up with ancient fruit and collect the rest of my wine. Plus, I sell some, pushing me to 10 million total earnings. Day 166, raccoon update, he now has a child and wants even more stuff. Another update, I now have all 27 secret notes. Actually, I've had them for quite a while, and in my opinion, the best way to get them is in the caverns. But I want to focus on note 22. It's a message from Mr. Q, and basically, I have to go around doing a lot of stuff. Starting with putting a battery in the tunnel, then putting a rainbow shell in the train station, and after that, putting some beets in Mary Lewis's fridge, and finally putting a solar essence in a dragon skull. And after doing all that, what's the reward? A club card, which gives me access to the back room of the Oasis, aka gambling. This is where the magic happens. We need to get 10,000 Q coins to get the last secret crow. I had a whole plan ready to make a montage, and I forgot to record everything. In fact, the only thing I got was this last little bit here. Pretty impressive, huh? Anyways, I bought the crow and finished another challenge. I even displayed them. Plus, I think I should get a deluxe crow in the mail soon, and it's really good. Besides that, I start progress on the shipping tab and work on some monster slayer goals. Day 167, I continue to make progress on the shipping tab, and you won't believe me, but I forgot to record me finishing 2 monster slayer goals and buying my next ring. I also forgot to record combining rings, but basically, it's a napalm ring and a crab shell ring. This is what I consider a perfect loadout. So another challenge complete. Besides that, I spend the rest of the day working on the last monster slayer goal. I don't finish it, by the way. Day 168, I read note 13, and basically what I got from it was to shake this bush on the last day of the month at 12 o'clock. I do this and I get rewarded with a massive Junimo plush. I wonder what else I can find in these notes. Besides that little adventure, I pick up my golden pan and a bunch of ore, or more kegs and crystallariums. Ended up getting a lot of batteries from the thunderstorm. I also received my deluxe crow recipe and just just take a look at how much it covers. Also, raccoon update. I gave him what he asked for and I got this cool hat in return. But that's it for summer. I head to the docks and watch the moon jelly dance. Well, summer's over and we did pretty good. We got a lot of progress done, but I want to focus more on challenges and completing them. So that's the goal for fall. Day 169. I work on the shipping tab, mainly focusing on artisan goods today. By the way, I won't mention every time I ship something out, mainly because it's kind of boring, but I'm always making progress on it. That also includes other tabs, I think. I'll also show my progress halfway through the season or at the end of the 100 days. Back to the day, I finally get to see Shane's blue chickens, and it seems like he's even happy to have them. I buy some, of course, and besides that, I pick up lots of gold and coal from Clint, and a new quest. The gold is for crystallariums, a lot of them. I also pick up some seasonal crops, craft some kegs, and finally somewhat fix my house. And yes, there's no furniture. I'm not good at this. Day 170, I give Penny a gift and head to Ginger Island. I decide to give the fossil tail one more shot, and after a whole day, I finally get it. Quick advice, get this thing as soon as possible. This thing sucks. But it lets me complete the field office and get the ostrich incubator as a reward. I also harvested my star fruit and cooked some gold before that happened. Day 171. Now that I have enough materials to craft a couple crystallariums, I kinda overdo it. I crafted 60 of them, which isn't bad, but now I don't have any batteries. I kinda wanted to craft some more sprinklers. Anyways, that's future me's problem now. It's anciency day and kegs. Day 172. I finally finished melting my ore and finally cut down my hardwood trees that I might have forgotten about. Also, take a look at all my crystallariums. It's about 90, which means a lot more cavern run. Besides that, I buy lots of coffee since I picked up a Mr. Q quest, which requires me to sell 100,000 gold worth of cooking goods. And coffee counts. It's expensive, but worth it. I also remove my greenhouse sprinklers and use them for my pumpkins. Day 173. I've been giving Leah lots of gifts like rabbit feet and rainbow shards, which push her to 12.5 hearts, which also means I get my star drop. And if you're wondering, I just need one more star drop. Besides that, I push Robin to 6 hearts and somehow get Elliot to 7, which is kind of weird since I swear I've only talked to him like 3 times. But I head to Ginger Island to pick up the extended family quest and spend some Q gems. I end the day by blowing up a tree farm, which sounds amazing. I blew it up for more. Day 174. Just take a look at all those jades. Amazing. Anyways, I receive a recipe for the music blocks from Robin and spend the rest of the day catching the extended family fish and organizing my farm. Day 175. Raccoon update. He now has a second child and wants some more outrageous stuff. I also buy lots of stuff from the traveling cart, collect my sap, and get ready for the caverns. There's no real goal for the caverns today. Maybe complete Clint's quest or get more ore. I pass out on floor 154, completing both goals. Day 176. I expand my farm a bit and finally get Coraline's Island Ingredient quest. I've been looking for this quest since I unlocked Ginger Island. That was a long time ago, which is good and bad since I've been collecting Tora seeds and actually have more than 100. It just would have been nice to get it a little earlier. Anyways, I'll plant down the Tora root once the star fruits are ready. I also pick up the hyper speed grow recipe, which I will probably not use. It's really expensive. But I finally meet Leo, and it's another sad story. There's a lot of sad stories in this game. I also forgot to mention I collected some bananas from the banana trees. Day 177. I don't do much today besides purchasing my first obelisk from the wizard and working on my last monster slayer goal, which I did not complete, but I'm really close to. Day 178 is a big one. I collect 4 more bananas, which means I can build the island obelisk, but before doing that, I harvest my field of ancient fruit and start my long harvest of wine and reed, which is only interrupted by purchasing the island obelisk, which is probably the best purchase I've ever made, or can make. It saves a bunch of time. But back to the kegs. It takes me a whole day to re-keg and harvest all of them. And if you're wondering, yes, we have more than 1,000 kegs, but I think I want more. My greed has completely taken over. I probably won't stop till I have another 1,000 kegs. But that's just crazy talk right now. I don't even get to sell my wine since it takes me so long to harvest. And if you're wondering, it's worth about 2 million G. So that 15 million G goal might have been a little too low. Day 179. If you're wondering what happened to that ostrich incubator and the ostrich egg, I used them. I also forgot about them, but I finally remembered I had them. And look at that. That's a weird looking chicken. And another challenge complete. I used my obelisk to get to Ginger Island and harvest my star fruit, plant down lots of Toro roots and more star fruit. But with that done, I head back to Pelican Town, give Jody a gift, fill my train kegs with star fruit, and plant down a bunch of fairy roses. Day 180, another harvest of mystic syrup, which means treasure totems. Yes, that was my big plan with the mystic syrup. Spoiler alert, it doesn't work. For more context, I'm looking for 3 artifacts that I need for the museum. One I already had, but forgot about. The other is the elvish jewelry. This one becomes a pain to get. And the last one is the skeleton hat, which is pretty easy to get from haunted schools. They also drop really good loot. Day 181, I pick up some beats for the shipping tab and also pick up some treasure troves, which I open and don't get the elvish jewelry. Again, this is gonna become a pain to get. To make things worse, I bought another 10 and didn't get it. This thing's gonna be up there with the sunfish and fossilized tail. It's not all bad. I got a new book and donated all my artifacts I did have, including the strange dog. I also gave Abigail her present and end the day by combining a lucky ring with a crab shell ring. Day 182, I buy out almost a whole traveling cart and harvest my sack. I also traded in all my jades for 368 staircases. I'm saving them up for when I need them, like today, to finish Mr. Q's quest. By the way, I stacked 2 lucky rings with a lucky lunch, which leads me to get a chest floor back to back and an auto petter. Besides that, I pass out on floor 147. Day 183. Here's that shipping tab update, and I think I'm gonna complete it. The only obstacle I see is the spring onion, which I didn't pick up in spring, so let's hope I get lucky with the cart. Besides that, I give Sandy her present and change my pants color to match my carp shirt, which I thought was a little funny blob. It is not a blob, it's a carp. Sad times. Also, I completely forgot about the horse. Yes, the most powerful thing in this game, or helpful thing, I forgot about it. But 183 days later, I finally buy him. Day 184. It's the Stardew Valley Fair, and on top of trying to get first place, I think it's the best time to expose Mayor Lewis. How, you may ask? Well, his purple shorts, which I might have modified a bit. I gathered some iridium quality items and crafted an anvil, upgrading my trinket. I didn't know you could do this, by the way, so I guess we don't have the best loadout. I'm joking, by the way. But now it's time for the fair, and after a little fun plus a prize ticket, I start the scoring. Well, safe to say I didn't get first place. In fact, I think I got disqualified. But Mary Lewis still gave me some prize points, and I'm not returning the pants back. They're mine now. Day 185 is another ancient fruit and keg day. Yes, it takes me a whole day to do that. Day 186, the taro roots are finally ready, and I harvest more than 100 just to be sure. I also decide that this will be the last starfruit harvest of the 100 days. I want to remodel. Besides that, I collect my mystic syrup and get to name my horse. I will name him something serious, as he is to be taken seriously. His name is James. James L. His first task is to get me to the other side of my farm. Yeah, I don't have the horse flu, so we can't really use him, but he's still a cool little horse. Also, take a look at my starfruit wine. It's pure profit. I sell my 919 bottles of ancient fruit alongside my 420 bottles of starfruit. This gets me 5.5 million G. This pushes me over the 15 million G goal, which means another goal complete. Besides that, I harvest my pumpkin and keg my starfruit. Day 187, I buy the rest of my obelisks needed for perfection. Also, I'm gonna move them around in winter, so they're not gonna stay this ugly forever. Besides that, I pick up a quest from Willy and spend the rest of the day completing it. Day 188, I tested out this new sprinkler and it's amazing. I also got the Friendship 101 book, which should help me out with friendship by 10%, I think, maybe. Besides that, I spent the rest of the day trying to get my last artifact with no luck. I also planted some Q beans. Almost forgot, I reached 14 hearts with Leah, which means I'll get a special cutscene and I get to buy her portrait at the traveling cart. Day 189, I gave my sturgeon a diamond. And what's that? You didn't know I had a sturgeon or a pond? That's because I never mentioned it, or will mention it again. It refused to give me its eggs, which means no caviar for the shipping tab. Besides that, it's a pretty average day. I collect jade, sap, staircases, and hang out with Abigail. Day 190, I grow my Q bean army, and I don't think I'm gonna complete the quest this time, but I'll be ready next time. I also crafted some monster must last night, and I plan to use it today. I have somewhere near 1,000 staircases, so I decided to use some. The goal today is Omni Geodes. They're dropped by ghosts, which I kill a lot of, granting me 256 Omni Geodes. Safe to say, I have enough for tomorrow's plan. Day 191, after organizing my inventory, I head to the desert to trade my Omni Geodes. I end up getting 51 artifact troves. If I don't manage to get the elvish jewelry, bad things are gonna happen. Probably to Mayor Lewis. I'm not even joking, I got it on the 3rd try. I guess that's good. I did waste all my Omni Geodes though, that kinda sucks. But I donate my last artifact, finally completing the museum. I also collected my last star drop, completing 2 goals. I for some reason decided to organize my museum, probably ripped this off Pinterest somewhere. I end the day by harvesting my last star fruit for the run and smelt a bunch of them for more kegs. Day 192, it's another ancient fruit and keg day, but I did try to place some kegs down in the train station before passing out. Day 193, I pick up some crystallariums, which I'm planning to use for fire quartz. I don't think I ever mentioned the solar panels, but they're great for batteries and even better in the desert. I'm planning to make quite a bit of them for the next 100 days, so I need a lot of fire quartz. Anyways, take a look at this weird blob that Willy has for some reason. Also, I filled up the train with keg stations. Day 194, I head to Pierce to sell my wine and pick up a stack of speed grow, which will be used on the stack of starfruit I bought. My plans were to fill up Ginger Island with starfruit today, but I decided to wait till winter. Instead, I plant some Q beans. I also moved a good chunk of my crystallariums. Day 195, I finished placing all my crystallariums, which will be filled with fire quartz. I also clear a spot for my obelisk and harvest my aged wine. I think I put these back in winter for fun, and they're finally ready. Besides that, I move my obelisk and spend the rest of the day farming bat wings. Day 196 is pretty boring for the last day of the season. I harvest my sap, buy a portrait of Leah, and finish my quest for Gunther. I also redecorated my sheds, gave a banana to a gorilla, and crafted some music blocks. And that's it. That's the end of fall. Well, fall's over and it was probably the best season. We got a bunch of goals complete and I got a bunch of G. Those kegs were horrible, by the way. I'm never doing that again. Anyways, we still have 4 more days of winter, which I'm not really sure what to do with, so Day 197. I used the rain totem the previous day, as today I plant down my starfruit. But before I did that, I figured out how to play music for a mermaid and get the reward of walnuts. By this point, I need 3 more walnuts that are buried around the map, which I'm not looking for. Instead, I paid Jojo to do that for me. Today, I plant my starfruit, starting with tilling the ground, spreading the speed grow, and planting the starfruit. I think I got most of it, so we should be fine. Day 198. I get my last walnut, completing another goal. I also didn't do too bad with the starfruit. And my crystallariums are all at work, making me lots of fire quartz. With nothing else to do, I finished my last personal goal: collect all 3 secret statues. Luckily, I have everything I need, so I start with the HMTGF statue, then the Pinky Lemon statue, and finally the the frog statue. I also think that's the last personal goal I'll complete. Besides that, I blow up my farm as I'm planning to redo it in the next 300 days. I also give the raccoon his last request. He gives me this. Day 199. I give Linus a present, upgrade my coop, and get this nice cutscene with Linus. I choose the right answer not because I'm a good friend, but because I just don't want him living in my house. I also pick up some ore, smelt it, and craft some solar panels, and place down some kegs. Day 200. We're finally here, and I was planning to end it with a cavern run and just talk. But then I realized my kegs were ready, so instead I talk and harvest my kegs. Anyways, how well did I do? I gave myself 22 goals, and out of those 22, I think I got 16 done. I think I only put 15 in there because I forgot the Monster Slayer one, but I finished that one. And if you want proof, I've been using the Stardew app. It tracks almost everything, I think, and as you can see, I got 69% done, or perfected, I guess. Which is not bad, but I was aiming for 80%. I forgot to mention that in the beginning, but 80% was my goal, which I guess I didn't reach. Honestly, if I had focused more on friendship instead of side goals, I think I would have reached 80%, but I guess that leaves more for the 300 days. But yeah, that's it.